Yo, what up, what up? It's your girl, Keena, Soft Bronx, and our podcast is finally here. All right, episode 2. This is great. I'm so thankful for everyone that listened to the first episode. You guys went in on complimenting the sound and specifically my voice, which is something I usually cringe at, and now I feel a lot of pressure. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I gotta lick my lips a little bit more. I feel like I gotta drink a little bit more water. I got some tea here with me, but it's good pressure, and it's a compliment, and it's good to know that my voice is soothing. So thank you for the compliment, and then you're welcome, I guess. I'm feeling myself. But as far as how the first podcast went, a lot of people seem to listen to it. According to YouTube and both my Instagram pages, we're well into the hundreds, like 300, 400 listeners. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know if, as soon as you breeze past the video, it counts as a view or a listen. But even if only 10 or 15 of you actually listen to the episode from start to finish, I appreciate you. I appreciate all the feedback, and I'm going to continue to move forward with the podcast. So what we're going to do in this second episode is I'm going to begin sprinkling those finance discussions that I talked about in the first episode. I want to first talk about how I got there. I'm not telling this story to make you feel sorry for me. I'm going to share this story to inspire you, and I want you to apply it to your life in whatever way that it applies. Truth is, back in 2018, on June 30th, I had a pop-up. I think that was like my 4th or 5th pop-up. It was in Brooklyn at the Living Gallery, and pop-ups are usually on a Saturday. And by July 2nd, I think that was like Monday or Tuesday that I went to work, I was laid off. A little bird told me that it may have been coming. I didn't know it was gonna come so soon, but I was given a little heads up about the fact that there was gonna be a big layoff with the company that I had worked at the time. So I wasn't surprised, but I was definitely not prepared to, not receive any income anymore from my job. For those of you who don't know, I'm an athletic trainer. That's not to be confused with a personal trainer. I work in a rehab setting for people who've sustained injuries. I mostly work with the athletic population, and I rehabilitate them or create exercise programs that will prevent them from sustaining an injury in the first place. So not to be confused with a personal trainer, I'm an athletic trainer, and that's what I was doing full time with a physical therapy clinic for about for almost 5 years. But then July 2nd, 2018, I was laid off. And that's when I became an adult. It was probably the best thing to ever happen to me. It made me realize what money was really supposed to be used for. And around the same time, my wife received a book recommendation from one of her childhood friends, and he recommended a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that book changed my life. It really did. I learned so much. I learned things that I wish my parents were able to teach me. That's exactly what the book was about. Your parents not having the capability of teaching you things that are really important for you to survive in this world. And so sometimes it takes another parent to do it. Fast forward to 2020. While that book, changed my life, the author actually recently said some pretty disheartening things about our revolution and calling people looters and losers. So, I'm not promoting the book. I'm just telling my story. So I actually read 2 books by the same author. The second book was called Cash Flow Quadrants. And in this book, it broke down different ways in which you can receive income. So one being obviously an employee, which most of us are, which I was laid off from, and that's what you risk when you're an employee. Second is a small business where it's your personal business, and in this book they have it listed as you often being overworked, and I very much so feel that way with how I've been running one of ours recently. And then you have big business, and that is where you have your tax advantage and also where you have your employees, and that is the avenue that I am now going to start taking with one of ours. And then you have investments, and that's where you put your money into stocks or real estate or whatever you feel is a good investment. Fuck, man, I'm really promoting this book. This is what Black people got to deal with, man. It's really frustrating. We can learn new things and apply them and be so proud, and then the same person who taught us these things could just turn around and shit on us. And it's so unfortunate that we have to question who teaches us these things. We have to question who our providers are. We have to question everything. It's so draining, man. But it's good information here, and I can't ignore what I learned and who I've become because I've learned it. Man, being Black is hard. The moral of the story is I realized that I need to have different forms of income, and it's something we all heard before, but I truly understand what forms of income that I need to have, and what forms of income do I need to spend less of my time in. And I know that there's someone listening right now who's busting their ass to be a partner at their company or to be promoted in some kind of way. And the truth is, if your company hits a financial struggle, you could hee ha ha with whoever you want. You're gonna get cut, and that's okay. You know why? Because there's all these other ways to make money. So stop sucking dick at work. Build healthy relationships with your supervisors and your colleagues. But don't get it twisted. I am not upset with the fact that I was laid off. They made a business decision. And now I'm making a business decision. For the past couple years, one of ours has been a platform that exposes Black-owned businesses. And then from there, we created spaces for young entrepreneurs to make some money. And now we're going to move on and we're going to launch our website very soon. And on that website, you'll find this podcast. And one of ours is officially launching as its own brand. It'll be more than just clothes. So it'll be something for everyone to look forward to. And in addition to that, one of ours is launching this collaborative campaign. And the purpose of that campaign is to take off the financial pressure for people that have good ideas and don't have the resources to execute it. We're going to come together and put our resources together and formulate a plan to execute good ideas, get them out there, and receive a monetary gain. This gives us an opportunity to share exposure through both our platforms, and this also practices sustainability. And simply, this campaign is just to help us come together and share the wealth because we're stronger together. Now, this is not a rant to get everyone to start a business. I'm a great employee. I'm proud to be an employee when I'm employed. So I'm talking to people who already have an itch to do certain things and they just haven't because they don't have time. Start that shit. Because you never know when your last day of being an employee is. So I hope this episode has inspired you to think about things that you've always had the itch to execute. Let's come together and get it done. And to all my employees out there, this episode was not to shame you. I look forward to being an employee again. When I was working, I give 100%. I love doing my job and doing it right. I do it with the intent to keep that job and maintain that form of income. And that's it. So if you get off of work at 5 o'clock and it's 5:20 and you still at work, I hope you're putting in that extra 20 minutes because you love your job and not because you have expectations. Because that's where we go wrong. Don't forget that where you work is a business. And that business is going to do whatever they have to do to maintain. So here is my financial book reference. And again, I have one of my wife's friends to thank, Gregory. Yo, my wife got some cool friends. I just peep. My friends are trash. It's probably because she's from Queens and I'm from the Bronx, and people from Queens, they just, y'all niggas is bougie. I hate y'all niggas. Anyway, I got good friends. Shout out to my nigga Jesse Raction. He got chains and shit. That's finance. He can pawn those in times of need. There we go. We got one. Anyway, the name of the book is Brass Knuckles Finance Investing by J.P. Lynn. This is written by a black man. It's an amazing book. It literally breaks down everything, like all the big words and all the little words that we really don't know. But like when we in a room with other niggas, we try to act like we know them. Nah, you don't know them. But J.P. Lynn did a great job breaking this down. It's like he breaks down which assets are better, breaks it down percentage-wise, breaks down renting versus buying a home. It's really, really written in a way that's very easy to understand. Shit, there's some pictures in it. It's like memes in it too. It's friendly for black people. For people like me. Let me not put black people under the umbrella, but under my black umbrella, under my black ass umbrella, I like books with pictures. So this shit fire for me. So there it goes. Episode 2. I hope you learned something. I hope you learned something about yourselves. And I hope you appreciate the transparency that I brought into this episode. I hope you're all looking forward to what I have to offer. And I hope you're inspired to, reach out to me. And if there's something you've been wanting to create, but you haven't had the opportunity, we're here now. Let's go. Let's get it done. Let's get it out. And I know I sound like Kanye, like, we're getting out our dreams and shit like that. But, he was on to something. And as much as I'm very upset with this man, I'm very unhappy with him. And I'm also not promoting him. But what I will promote is being objective and learning sometimes from your enemy, if you want to call it an enemy, or someone that you don't agree with or you can't always appreciate. And Kanye West is a terrible person now. I mean, it just is what it is. But, I still carry with me some of his original ideas. And I can't wash away the things that I learned from that author who wrote Cash Flow Quadrants or Rich Dad Poor Dad. Like, I can't just wash that off, So I'm going to continue to use those tools that I learned from those people that I don't appreciate as far as my core values goes. But, I'm not going to act like I ain't going to act stupid now either. I know what's up. I know what's needed in my community, and I know what's needed in my pockets. Our podcast, episode 2. Y'all take it easy. Peace.